Hello everyone and welcome to my training course. This course is called The Science of Sales. I'm Daniel, your trainer. I've been teaching sales and leadership skills for over a decade. During these years, I've been able to take anyone willing to learn the science of sales and turn them into phenomenal closers. During this sales training course, you will learn the science of sales that will help you achieve enormous financial success. I started selling at a very young age. My first job was in a call center where I sold everything from products to services. Back then, we worked with cold leads, no CRMs or all the other fancy sales management tools used today by salespeople. I want to tell you right off the bat that if you want to be successful in sales, you need good work ethics and a strong self-drive to make money. However, having only a good work ethic is not enough. You need to be really hungry for money. Don't get into sales where you can't make big money. If you're going to do this just to get some experience, then that's fine. As a business owner, I always say that your best sales agent should be able to make more money than you in a month. Sales is not easy, and people without real hunger for money break really fast. All they need is a first challenge, a hard day with no one answering the phone, and you'll break. For people with real hunger, they stay on course until they hit their target where they meet big money. Let me ask you a question. What type of salesperson do you think you are? There are different types of salespeople out there, and for you to get the best outcome of this training course, you need to understand the type of salesperson you are. Let us look at each type one by one. We have natural-born salespeople. These individuals, selling comes naturally to them, and they are always trying to push you something when you speak with them. They can build rapport with any client instantly and are very empathetic. They know how to sell to different customers and can easily adapt their sales pitch to their audience in real time. Trained salespeople don't sell naturally, but they understand the science of the sale and are very logical when they sell. They can build chemistry with the client, ask all the right questions, and close the closable customers. Clueless salespeople, these individuals got into sales by accident and they don't understand the science of sales in most cases. They don't understand what works or why it worked. Their lack of understanding is what makes it difficult for them to sell or build on the one-time success they did experience. These type of salespeople break easily and they don't last in a sales team. But regardless of the type of salesperson you are now, one thing you must not be is sleazy, cheap, or lacking in empathy. At this point, you can tell what type of salesperson you are. Now, let's look at the type of sales that you'll be doing. You will be selling mostly to either individuals or to other businesses. If you are selling to individual clients, that is called B2C. Business to customers. And if you're selling to other businesses, that is called business to business sales. The fact is that regardless of who you're selling to, the sales process is the same, and I'll explain in detail later on in the training. If you want your potential clients to do business with you, you must learn how to use ethical influence and persuasion in your sales process. The problem is that you can't persuade anyone without first gaining their attention. Building instant rapport with a client is the key to getting the person to listen to you. Tonality of your introduction should be appealing and interesting enough for the person to want to hear more of what you are saying. I've seen and heard a lot of talented sales managers open a sales conversation with a good tonality, but the introduction lacks logic. Once your potential client picks up your call, you need to show them that there is logic in the conversation that you're about to have with them. For instance, immediately after the introduction, you should say something like, "The reason I'm calling you is because you signed up to learn more about XYZ. During this call, I'll be showing you some interesting features of XYZ, and I believe it'll help you solve XYZ problem. Would you like to hear more?" At this point, the client will say, "Yes, please tell me more about it." You have demonstrated the logic and the client is open to having a conversation about their problem and the solution you are offering. Effective selling is the science of communicating the value of something to another person. Having said that, it is important to note that everything you do in life involves sales. You are always selling your personal interest to another person. It doesn't matter how great of a person you are, how excellent your products and services are, or even how unique your value proposition to your potential clients are. If you don't adapt the products to the client's needs, they won't buy from you. For instance, Imagine a grandmother going into a store to buy a phone. She simply wants to buy a phone that can make and receive calls. She doesn't care about how good the phone camera is. If you start telling her about the camera, you've lost the sale. However, a teenage girl won't buy a smartphone without first understanding how good the camera is. If you can't persuade your listener to buy into your ideas, to purchase your product, or subscribe to your service, you've not started selling. You are just consulting. Most salespeople are excellent consultants, but bad closers. You will learn how to be an effective closer in this course. Every sale is the same if you know the fundamentals of sales. I know that sounds like a cliche, but during this training, you will learn the techniques used by world-class salespeople to close hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars in deals around the world. To start selling effectively, you need to change your perception, attitude, and thought process towards sales. If you are not hungry for money, please don't get into sales. Just get yourself a desk job. It is not an easy job, but it is the most rewarding job financially. Sales is just like any other profession. To be great at it, it requires skill, experience, and practice. Practice and practice. I tell all my trainees, I'm telling you now, that whatever you lack in sales skill and experience, you could compensate with long hours of work and endless practice. The more time you spend practicing the skills you will learn in this training, the better you will get at selling. What I'll be teaching you in this sales training is the science of using ethical persuasive techniques to communicate value to your target audience. If you apply these skills well, you will be able to bring any potential client to the conclusion that your ideas, products, or services are the solution to their problems that they're trying to solve. I don't believe you need an MBA to be a top salesperson in your field. If you learn and practice everything I will teach you in this training, in less than 72 hours, you'll become better at selling. I know that's a bold statement, but at the end of this course, you will see how easy selling is if you know how to. When clients don't buy from you, it's either because they don't trust you, your company, or the product you are selling. In this video training, you will learn how to influence and ethically persuade anyone to overcome their fears and take actions that are in their best interests. To sell anything, you must first believe in it. If you don't believe it, you can't sell it. If you are selling your value, your ideas, your products, or services, you must first believe that it has the best value for your potential clients. And they will be missing out on the true value of your product if they don't buy it from you. If you don't have the level of confidence in what you are selling, you won't be able to effectively communicate the value to your potential clients. To build up your confidence in what you are selling, you must know your product in and out. You must know the product better than anyone else. Let me ask you a question. Do you know the product you are selling better than anyone else in the room? When I walk into a business establishment, I want to speak with the expert, the number one guy, someone who knows their shit, what they are talking about. If this first salesperson that I speak to doesn't know what they're talking about, I'm just going to go to the competitor. Having learned everything about the product you are selling, now it's time to actually start selling. It all starts with understanding your unique selling proposition, your value proposition, and creating a persuasive pitch with it. The first question people ask themselves when they start any conversation with you is, what is in it for me? Or how is this product or service going to solve my problem? If you can clearly articulate what your product has the best value for the client in one sentence, you will have the complete attention of the client. You have to keep it simple and interesting. In sales, it's called an elevator pitch. You have less than 30 seconds to spark an interest in your listener, or you can kiss goodbye to that sale. More on how to create a persuasive pitch that will spark attention in your clients, we will talk about it later on in the training. Now that you have the full attention of your client, what's the next stage? This is where your sales skills and experience kicks in. It starts with structuring your sales from creating attention to closing the deal. Regardless of what you are selling, the technique is really the same. In this training, you will learn how to manage expectations and control the sales from gaining the attention of your clients to actually closing the deal. The sales process is where most salespeople lose the sale. As the saying goes, the devil is in the details. Most salespeople make the sales process a one-sided affair. They make it all about the features of their products or services. In my experience, I've come to understand that most clients want to be involved in the whole process of the sale. Asking clients targeted questions during your sales process will help you understand their needs, uncover possible objections, and address them properly before they even arise. Involving your clients in the sales process doesn't mean simply asking stupid questions and providing answers. It also involves helping them come to a logical conclusion that what you're selling is best for them. Building a connection or a relationship with your clients is extremely important in order to close the deal, but you have to bring them to that point. If you leave it to the clients to decide on buying your product or going to the ones of the competition, they will most likely buy from the salesperson who persuaded them enough to say yes. In sales, closing the deal is the end product of a successful and well-structured sales process. Your client is happy and you are in business. How do you close a deal after demonstrating that your products or your services are the best for your client? This is a question I get all the time. Top salespeople start with closing in mind. In sales, closing starts once you make contact with the client. Everything is supposed to lead to a point where your client says, I want to buy this. There's no room for, let me think about it. Let me ask my wife, or I need to talk to my neighbor. He has a lot more experience in this than I do. These are just smokescreen objections. If you ask the right questions, you will clear these smokescreens before your clients even bring them up. We'll come back to this topic later on in the training. Sometimes, inexperienced salespeople mistake courtesy from a client as a sign they will buy what they are selling. That is an absolute mistake. You can't confuse someone that is being nice to you or being polite. That means they're interested. Most people are just polite when you call them or try and sell something. But the second you leave them alone, they're going to walk away saying, thank God I got rid of that guy. You don't want to give them any room to say no. All you want to do is bring them to a point where they say, I want to buy this. All right, guys, let's sum up the fundamentals of sales. Firstly, you need to articulate your value and the unique selling proposition of your products or services so clearly even a 6-year-old can understand it. Your clients want to know your solution and how it could solve their problems. Develop a sales process from beginning to end that involves your client, and it's not a one-sided conversation. It is not a monologue, it's a dialogue. Use questions to uncover potential objections and handle them professionally. That's super important. Use ethical, persuasive techniques to help your clients come to the conclusion that your product or service is exactly what they need and close the deal. In the next video, we will talk about building rapport and how to handle objections effectively.